Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another CycleLab Coffee Time episode. This is episode number 4. So just take my earphones out there. We've got some cool things in the pipeline. Melissa, it's very cool to have you in studio finally.
Yes, thank you,
You're normally
Miles.
part of behind the scenes, helping with a little bit of the camera work, but all the competitions that have been running, all the kind of giveaways, that's you. So
Yes,
thank
that's
you.
me. Yeah, you're most welcome, and I love giving back to our customers, of course. You guys support us, and it's the reason we are here. This is why we do Coffee Time. It feels good to be in studio. I feel a bit like a guest speaker. So, Miles makes you feel so comfortable. Actually, I feel like I need to talk about something cycling related.
No, but we are going to. There's so many competitions that are currently happening. Today we have an exciting guest who's actually sitting in Cape Town on a Zoom call at the moment. We're going to cut across to him in a moment. It's Warren from Cape Cycle Systems. They do a whole bunch of cool brands, which we're going to find out about. They sponsored our SRAM NX group set that we gave away 2 weeks ago.
More or less. Yes.
More or less, 3 weeks ago at the beginning of the year. Yes, it's amazing how this year is actually flying. We're already on it's actually Valentine's Day in 2 days.
It is. Any special plans?
No, not as yet, but there might be some spontaneous plans coming up. But on that note...
on that note, guys, we do have a Valentine's competition running. If you have not seen it yet, it's on our Facebook, it's on our Instagram. So we
there
know
it is, right
that,
there.
there you go. So you can win a 1,000 Rand voucher. And all we want from you is that, so we know some of you love cycling, but maybe your partner is not so much into cycling. So what can you buy your partner that will make them happy for you to just, actually go and cycle for an hour or two? So, give us...
How does someone enter that, Melissa?
Yeah, so you just, we'll post it again now, but it is already on our Facebook, on our Instagram, so go look for the post, just comment there what you think, is chocolates enough, or do you need to buy spa treatments, or what else do you need to buy your significant other to allow you some cycling time. The best idea will win a 1,000 Rands voucher from CycleLab.
That's
so you
pretty
can,
awesome.
you can come
$1,000.
you can come and spoil yourself here.
That's almost like your nutrition for a whole month.
I know, exactly. But you know what? You don't have to spend 1,000 Rand on nutrition, because we do have a competition running with.
We have been this week with
Namit Sports.
Namit Sports,
Yes.
correct?
So we actually, the competition entails tagging and answering a question. Every day there's a new question. This is only running on our Instagram page. It launches every day at 12:30. We have already given away I think 4 Namit Sport hampers.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've had a hamper every single day.
I'm just going to bring up that picture because, there it is. So that's what we've been running every day for the last week.
Yes, for the last week. So you win that hamper. And then we also have a 6th prize, which is the grand prize, where you win all the nutritional products you see there in front of you, plus the Namit Sports jersey.
Cycling kit. And if you look at it there, it's very orange. It's very
orange,
colorful.
and it's actually a limited edition.
Oh, wow.
It's limited edition.
So you can't just go buy it. You have to win it.
You cannot buy it. This is limited edition. It is worth over 2,000 Rand, guys. So your total hamper, if you win the grand prize, is over 2.5 grand.
Wow.
So I think that's really good value. And all you have to do is you tag a mate, you tell us whatever the question is, you tell us your answer, and you stand a chance of winning. So easy enough.
Just a reminder while we're here is that this is a live show, which means that you can put your comments or questions in the comment section. And when we do cross over to Warren now from Cape Cycle Systems, they do brands like SRAM and RockShox. There's a whole bunch of questions that you can ask him, and we can also get the answers for you. So anything to do with group sets, shocks, suspension, think about your questions, put them in the comment section, and we can answer the question for you.
Absolutely,
So,
And Miles, I believe we have an awesome prize to give away today as well.
As always, awesome prizes. That's what we're all about here at the Coffee Time Show.
Yes.
Melissa, do you want to announce it? It's very exciting.
Yeah, so we're not going to tell you just yet what you're going to do, but we are giving away a RockShox fork. Guys, come on. This is the easiest thing ever, We're just like Oprah. Like, you get something, you get something, you get something. So listen, guys, stay tuned. Miles is going to ask some cool questions to Warren. You're going to get some good information to improve your cycling if you need to. And stay tuned for that.
We were hoping to actually have it here today, but there was didn't quite arrive in time.
Yes, yeah,
And there's a whole bunch of caps and whatever as well. So stay
yeah.
tuned to our social media pages, and we'll.
Yeah,
let you
you'll
know how
see
to win those
pictures,
things.
but what fork are we giving away? I
I
can't
think
remember.
we're going to confirm now with Warren, but I think it's a RockShox Recon, if I'm not
Recon.
mistaken.
There you go.
100 mils, 100 mils of travel, 120, not quite sure. We'll get the details from Warren.
Yeah.
So on that note, should we cut across to Warren?
Absolutely. Let's take it over to Warren.
He's on a
That's what
Zoom
he has to
call,
say.
so I'm going to just cut across the Zoom call and see if he's still there. Maybe he's
Let's
left
hope he's
us.
still there.
First time we're actually trying this out.
There you go.
So, how's it, Warren? You there?
Yes, morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic, excellent. I've been listening to you guys.
Yes.
Great.
So, so to our viewers, this is Warren from Cape Cycle Systems, nonetheless. Thank you for joining us today. Warren, Cape Cycle Systems do a whole bunch of brands. I'm just going to put my mic on the table so it's not that loud. Can you take us through what brands you guys do and how long you guys have been in the industry? Just a little bit of background about your company.
Sure, absolutely. Cape Cycle started back in the late 80s and 87, so we're a good 33 odd years old, going on 34 years now. We started with Cannondale back in the day, which has moved on, and obviously our main brand stable at the moment is SRAM, which we have the agency for Africa, and we also deal, interestingly enough, in Mauritius and the Seychelles as well. Within the SRAM stable, you have other seriously well-known global brands, such as Quark on the power meter side, etc. We've got Zip, which speaks for itself on wheels. And
Wow, Zip as well, eh? So SRAM do Zip.
SRAM do Zip, and obviously RockShox. And then, excitingly lately, but obviously not to as big a degree as SRAM, for instance, within the stable, you've got ShockWiz as well as TireWiz,
Okay.
which is basically live and recorded information coming from your tire pressure as well as your suspension system to help you set up the best optimization for your bike.
Brilliant. Just on that note, SRAM have been the pioneers in this whole 1x12 technology, and it's I mean, if you walk into a bicycle shop now, it's very difficult to actually find a bike that has 2 chain rings or 3 chain rings in the front. Can you take us through that whole technology? Why is it so special? Why was it such a revolution in cycling?
I'll start off also by saying, let's say SRAM bought one by Main Street. You know, a lot of guys out there back in the day, you know, when we were all young, our little BMXs are one by, we ride a 1x7, etc. So your one by has been around, let's say, forever in the day. But bringing it mainstream to your average, your top, your elite cyclist, etc., definitely SRAM has pioneered. We have seen that the industry has followed. Some picked it up quite quickly, others have lagged by a number of years. And you know, there's a number of reasons behind it, but I think at the end of the day, for me, it's all about simplicity. You know, I've been riding bikes for about 32 years now, and I've had the 3x9s, I've had the 2x, and obviously on the 1x. And it's simple. You don't have to worry about wherever you are in a 1x12 system. At worst, you're about 5 or so odd clicks away from the absolute extreme from where you need to be. Whereas on your 2 and 3x systems, you'd obviously have a number of cross-chaining, etc., chain slipping, etc. So one by has definitely simplified the way of riding, which is something what SRAM wants to do. Riding must be effortless from a bike's point of view. Obviously, you're going to get fatigued as a rider.
Sure.
Not to iterate too much, but just back in the day, a lot of people were very hesitant, and even today, some people are hesitant in going one by because they see fewer gears are going to be harder. At the end of the day, every bike, doesn't matter how many gears you have an easy gear and you have a hard gear for going fast. You have a whole lot of gears in between, and if you take the 27, the 3x9s will give you 27, etc. If you pop them into gear tables, at the end of the day, you get a lot of duplicates. So even on a 27 gear system, you really probably only have 17, 18 effective gears. So 1x12 is not very far. It's very far off that.
Okay. One or two comments, they say that your audio is a bit soft, so I don't want to put pressure on you, but if you could just like speak a bit louder or go closer to the mic or the computer, whatever, that'd be great. Okay, so Shram, you say kind of brought that to market and are kind of like the pioneers into the whole 1x12 technology. They've now actually, with the whole access technology now, with the whole wireless system, I mean, that's another whole kind of kettle of fish. People are kind of wondering if it's reliable, how the communication system works. I mean, there's literally no cable. So how are those two, I mean, access technology, can you explain? Is it Bluetooth? How does that whole system work with no cable?
Absolutely. I won't go into the complete intricacy of it other than to say that the SRAM wireless system is exactly what it implies. It is completely wireless. In other words, the shifters independently talk to the derailleurs.
Okay.
And the derailleurs themselves house the battery, as the trigger in the shifters holds the battery. So there is no wires from a connectivity point of view from shifting or from powering the necessary, or to power the necessary derailleurs. It's completely and utterly wireless. The positiveness of that is also with using a front derailleur, it has completely allowed bike manufacturers to change the way they design bikes.
Sure.
Because they don't have to worry about cables. We've also started to see the brand has got, so you'll be seeing that on more bikes over the next few years coming out now. But getting back to access, it's really, really simple. From setup, you literally just pop the components on, pair it, micro shift. I mean, your average good mechanic, I'm told from the trade, is setting up a bike. Once everything is in place, they are screwing a gear, setting up a bike in 3 minutes.
Wow. That's incredible.
Which is really quick. And at the end of the day, that also saves time for the guys in the bike shops, so that they can get onto their next project as well.
Sure.
That said, the simplicity of wireless shifting versus a cable, if you're not aware of it as an average person, at the end of the day, when you have mechanical lever, you are throwing a cable to have a result. So your brain is anticipating that you're wanting to change gear, it's pushing a lever, you're feeling through the throw, you're waiting for it to engage, maybe you're pulling off the pedals a little bit, you're waiting for it to engage, and then you ride again. Okay, that process only might take a couple of seconds, so at the end of the day, we're not talking much time. But wireless shifting, you want to change, you push the button, it changes, you carry on riding. And if you change your gear 100 times, 200 times in a 3-hour ride, 2 seconds times 200, 300 starts to become time as well.
Exactly.
And it all boils down to getting on your bike, having fun, being simple, and just enjoying it. Yeah. The nice thing about the SRAM access system of batteries, which obviously includes the dropper, is that all the batteries are interchangeable. So if you're on a road bike and you're riding a 2x12, and let's say your rear derailleur battery goes flat, you've got absolute umpteen hours, 30, 40 hours in the derailleurs, 2,000 hours in the shifters. You literally can take your battery off your front derailleur, pop it on the back, and ride home with a 1x12.
I was about to ask that question. How long do the batteries actually last before you have to start worrying?
So there's little indicator lights. You can obviously look at your app before you go out. I'll be honest, I've never had a battery fail on me. What I do is I religiously, every Sunday night, I charge my batteries.
Okay.
That's what I do. So after the ride, maybe I've got the energy, I clean the bike, etc. That evening, pop the batteries on. They're on fresh for my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday ride. And I've never yet run flat. I do carry an extra battery, and it is a whopping 16 odd grams in your back pocket.
Wow.
And less than the size of a matchbox. So not much to put in your toolkit if you really feel you might run out of battery.
Looking towards the future, I wanted to ask you, certainly when I started cycling, there were 9 gears on the back, then it went to 10 speed, then it went to 11 speed. SRAM have now brought out 12 speed on road bikes. There's one other company that's brought out 13 speed. Where do you see this going in the future? How many gears can a company actually fit on a kind of wheel in essence? Like,
look, the number of gears is, it's not necessarily the problem. It's more it's more, in my opinion, the strength of the chain.
Okay.
Because as your cogs get closer together at the back, your chain needs to thin as well, which means you've got less strength. Technology might overcome that. With your, on the SRAM side, for instance, on the mountain bike with your 1050, on the road side, SRAM's now got a 1036 cassette, for instance. So unless you now are a elite chasing the clock road rider, for instance, where you want your 2x12, for instance, where you've got your really high top end, you've got, well, I don't think those guys worry about granny gears, to be quite honest.
Sure.
But you've got your smaller incremental jumps between the cogs. I think something like a ratio on a 1052 at the back with a 32 up front or even a 34 up front, for most people will be adequate. The jumps, obviously, the further down you go, get closer. Your direct question was 1x13. Will we see maybe 1x14? I think in time we'll definitely see a change, but for the moment I feel and I see that there is going to be more of the shift is definitely towards improving and perfecting your 1x12 systems.
Okay.
Whether people really need more gears, I don't know. You tend to get accustomed to it, so time will tell. But for now, we're sticking to 12.
Brilliant. We focused a lot on SRAM. Let's move over to RockShox. It's another amazing brand that you guys do, and it's also come out in leaps and bounds over the last few years with suspension systems, and I mean the pros testing out all the products. Can you give us a breakdown of what RockShox does, what it is, and then we can kind of take it from there in terms of travel, how hard you should kind of pump your shocks when you're out riding based on your weights and so on?
No, absolutely. RockShox, basically, I'd break it into two categories. You've got your suspension droppers, which is your historic. A number of people obviously run a cable. We don't have a cable actuated dropper. Ours is hydraulic, and obviously with the lever, and obviously the new access system, which is again completely wireless. So if you have two bikes, you can actually just whack the dropper out of your bike, move it across to your other bike. Maybe you have to shim it, etc. But you can now simply move the dropper across, and obviously you have your front suspension. At the end of the day, a fork really is there to smooth out your ride. That's what it's all about. And the fork you would choose would be dependent on your riding style. So we make forks from all different types of travel to all different levels of strength, and obviously the higher the strength, the more weight you're going to pack on. So
what does that mean in terms of travel? So just from the most basic point of view, if someone walks into a bike shop and a salesman starts speaking to them about travel, what does that essentially mean? Just from a basic sense of basic shock technology.
To try and put it simply, travel basically is when you've got both negative and positive travel. In other words, when you set up your suspension, you have sag. So suspension can work in two ways. You've got positive bumps, which obviously you go over a rock. You've got negative where your bike drops into a rut or a furrow, etc., drainage ditch. And with your sag, etc., so your fork or your rear shock will move in two different ways. The travel, as I said, is dependent on your riding style. So cross country was always 100 millimeter. The bikes are short travel. They're aggressively designed for one thing, and that is to go super fast from start to finish.
Okay.
We're seeing cross country bikes to a degree, especially marathon bikes, going to 120 mil travel on the front, which is quite effective.
Okay.
And then as we go into the 130, 140s mils of travel, we then go into the trail riding and the lighter enduro style riding. And then 150, 160, 170, 180, even up to 190, more your aggressive enduro, hard, very, very hard trail. And obviously your 200 mil fork, which we do in the Boxer model, is aimed at downhill.
Downhill, okay.
At downhill,
Awesome.
yes.
One question from one of our listeners at the moment: where is RockShox manufactured? Just a quick.
RockShox. So SRAM is an American-based company where it started. Their main head office, etc., is in Chicago.
Okay.
All around the world. But directly to answer the question, the predominant amount of SRAM product comes out of Taichung and Taiwan.
Okay, brilliant. And then another question: what are your thoughts on the SID SL Ultimate for cross-country racing, 100 millimeters, 32.
The new SID that's been launched in the Ultimates. I don't want to talk about previous models, but the new SID Ultimate is, in my opinion, is
The ultimate.
game. It's absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into it again, as I said, but
Yeah.
when they launched that, and I heard about it for the first time a while ago, it was the best news I think I've had. The two fantastic products in the entire RockShox lineup right now, in my opinion, is the Zeb on the high side and is the SID Ultimate. So SID Ultimate for a cross country, especially even for marathon and 120 mils, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic, and it looks sick.
Well, that's always important. Looks sick, and you can.
It has to look good. You're spending a lot of money on it now.
Yes, exactly.
It's got to look good. Yeah.
You're being very kind and throwing a prize into the mix here with giving away that RockShox fork. Can you give us some details on that, and then we can decide how we're going to pick a lucky winner?
Yeah, absolutely, sure. So the fork that we've presented for giveaway is a RockShox Recon.
Okay.
It is a non-used fork. It is through, which means you need a 50mm axle and a 100mm wide hub. The beautiful thing about the Recon is, as long as your winner rides between 100 and 140 mils, the fork will be suitable. Why I say that is it ships with what is called travel spaces.
Okay.
So that fork can be made 100, 110, 150, 120, 130, or 140 mils.
Amazing.
So that's a fork that can fit on the majority of bikes out there, yes. And it's all black. So it looks sleek as well, which is nice.
Awesome. So that is in the post. I'm sure we'll get it very soon. So let's decide how someone's going to enter this competition, Warren. I'm thinking more on the lines of someone needs to take a photo of their bike while they're out cycling and tag Cape Cycle Systems. You guys have an Instagram page, I'm guessing? Okay, so Cape Cycles, and to tag Cyclelab, obviously. That will enter them into the competition on a story or a post, preferably a post, but we also track the stories. They'll go into a draw, and we can do a live reveal in the next 2 weeks or so. Melissa, 1 week's a little bit too short, right? Should we do it next week Wednesday?
Next week Wednesday sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it gives you enough time to go out riding. If it's raining and you can't go out, then
There we go.
give you some time.
Guys, so take a photo of your bikes to everyone listening out there. Tag Cape Cycles and Cyclelab, and yeah, you'll go into the draw to win that amazing RockShox Recon fork.
Fantastic. Another one.
Other products that you guys do? I know you guys do Park Tool, all the tools that are used in the workshops.
Yeah, we actually, it's actually great to represent the brands we have. Exactly what you said. We've got Park Tool as a worktop tool. It is probably the best out there. We are seeing a huge drive to more your home mechanic. People are wanting to work on their own bikes. That also has to do with the availability of videos out there. In other words, the Park Tool website on YouTube, and YouTube has absolutely fantastic videos on that. At the end of the day, as well, please, if you don't know 100% what you're doing, go to
Take it to the bike shop.
Get the guy to do it. But a couple of little tools at home. You know, we also do finish line. Have your degreaser. Have your bike clean. Look after your bike. Keep your chain clean. Check the stretch level of your chain with a Park Tool checker. A worn chain kills your components, and at the end of the day, changing a chain on a regular basis, keeping it clean, can save you a lot of money. And at the end of the day, it'll make your bike also ride quieter and obviously perform better. Just the one other brand that we're very excited about, and it's really growing in South Africa, is Pirelli tires.
Okay.
We have an e-bike specific tire in the Pirelli range, which is aimed at those bikes. And in my opinion, obviously every single e-bike should have a Pirelli e-bike specific tire on it.
Of course.
We also do a range of gravel, road, triathlon specific, etc. You guys do carry stock, so go online, shop at Lab, grab your Pirelli.
Pirelli tires. There we go, guys. So e-bike specific tire. E-bikes are growing. It's a massive industry. I think it's almost the future of our sport in a way, to be really honest, from a personal point of view. So I'm thinking,
Without a doubt.
those tires are a must. So Pirelli,
They are-
I'm going to
they
go
are
check them out.
Absolute must, yes. I'd throw that bike at everything and it's been great. On the Pirelli side, I do get asked about the calendars. Those aren't our agency. We don't have access to the Pirelli calendar.
Okay. Warren, we're running out of time, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out to speak to our viewers and to chat about all your brands, and thank you again for making these prizes available. It's unreal what it means to our customers and to the viewers and the engagement. So thank you very much from the SRAM side and from the RockShox side.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Great. Thanks, Miles and Melissa.
Have an awesome weekend. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, mate. Cool. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. And there you have it, everyone. That was Warren from Cape Cycle Systems. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Next week we have Tim from Biogen. It's Tim, right, Melissa?
Tim might be joining us, but
Tim?
it is definitely Biogen.
So definitely Biogen coming in studio next week. They've got some new products coming out. They've got some hampers to give away. And we're going to keep the show going in a good, positive way. More things to give away. Once again, guys, to enter the competition for the RockShox Recon Fork, as Warren was explaining, anything between 100 and 160 mils of travel, it can fit on your bike. It's a non-boost, so just remember that as well. But to enter the competition, take a photo of your bike this weekend, tag Cape Cycles and Cycle Lab as well, and post on Instagram story or an Instagram post. That would be absolutely amazing. You'll get entered into the competition, and we'll do a live reveal next week, Wednesday, for that fork. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Remember the Valentine's Day competition and also the Namit Sport competition. There's so many competitions happening. It's like just all at once.
You can win so
Yeah.
much.
So thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks for watching. Cheers.